Number 4.
The Florida Panthers, they celebrated winning their second consecutive Stanley Cup with a parade in Fort Lauderdale yesterday. One of the hearts of that team, there's kind of a lot of them. You can only really say that about one person. But I'll say it, one of the hearts of the team is Sam Bennett. And he had this to say when he took the stage following the parade.
They don't like the way we play. They don't like, they call us dirty. They call us nasty. They call us bullies. So no, I would like to take this time to apologize to absolutely no one. We're the double champs. We do what the we want. Let's go!
That was Sam Bennett at the parade yesterday. My question for you guys is, it's kind of a big macro thing. What are the Florida Panthers' identity within South Florida and within sports as a whole?
I think if you asked outward hockey fans, I think they would say sore winners. Is that unfair to say? How many times was Connor McDavid brought up? You know? How many times were and every time you ask the Oilers about them, the Oilers are like, that team is unbelievable. That team is great. So I think it just goes to show, I'm not saying they should. I'm not here to police people on the sportsmanship of it all. But, I mean, that's what it is. They're gloating. They're gloating in everybody's face. We know how great you are. There's two ways you could play that. You could rub it in everybody's face, or you can let your greatness speak for itself. They opted for the former.
He pulled the McGregor.
Yes, that is the
That
quote.
is the Conor McGregor. So, yeah, listen, first off, they won. They're the back-to-back champs. They can talk about whatever the hell they want. And I do hear the conversations. What they say right there sounds like my brother who works for the Lightning. What Sam Bennett said there are all the things my brother would tell me about the Panthers and how he can't stand them. So I think a lot of that was directed at, like, Lightning supporters. And I think that's big with the Panthers as well, as being the best team in Florida now. One thing that Tampa Bay Lightning fans had over the Panthers is that they had 2 cups, right? Now the Panthers have 2 cups. They're, in my eyes, they won 2 out of 3. They've been there 3 years in a row. They are a dynasty. They can talk about whatever the hell they want. I'm more pissed off that Sam Bennett's stole the Conor McGregor. That's McGregor's shtick, right?
That did not have as great of a crowd reaction to warrant that type of comment.
That's the McGregor shtick.
Hey, you want to bring up the McGregor? The McGregor one is electric.
It is unreal.
He takes the phone from Rogan. It was electric.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. Like, come up with your own thing. But listen, that sounded like a booze-fueled and alcohol-ridden speech. Who am I to tell a guy to, what to put in his championship speech to the fans?
There always is jealousy from within the league about that year's champion. You obviously would like to switch spots with those players when they're celebrating their championship because you would rather be the champion. But it's kind of unfair because we talked about how there's an ongoing conversation within hockey about, is it unfair we have these teams with no state income tax kind of increase the amount of money they can spend in a way? But it's also like, wait a second, you guys are hockey players who get to play in paradise in South Florida, where everyone else is in the cold of winter in northern Canada, in the Northeast, and you also get to win. Because it's one thing to sacrifice wins and losses in order to live in a better place in general.
You get the best of both worlds.
You get more money, you get to live in paradise, and you get to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. It reeks of a lot of jealousy, if you ask me.
Listen, I love living in the state of Florida. Absolutely love it. Dream come true, living in the state of Florida. So, yeah, I'll listen to all that, for sure.
There's something about being a sore winner, though. There's a level. You don't need to gloat. Everybody knows how good you guys are.
So
you don't need to go up there and give everybody a slice of humble pie.
So are you talking specifically what he said about the Edmonton going after the Edmonton players? Collins Team Canada.
No, but they were speaking anti against all their opponents. Guys, you killed all of them. And they haven't said a bad word about you the entire way. I think the NHL is a classy league, and I think they're trying to purposely. The Bruins are the same way.
Classic league because they shake hands after the final. Is that why? Is that the handshakes after games?
It's just a classy. It's a classy league. Look at the guy, how the guys dress going to the game. It's just classy. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just think that's.
Colin's saying the Panthers need to learn how to win. So many words.
Act like you've been there before.
Yeah, there
Sam.
you go.
Like-
Thank you, Christian. That's what I was looking for.
Let other people. If you're good at something, you'll tell everybody. But if you're great at something, they'll tell you. Like, let them tell you. We know how great they are. You don't need to tell us.
Kyle, but listen. That kid was probably
he's so drunk
on a
he couldn't
30
even
rack of Bush Traditional. You know what I mean?
I understand. So it's not even just that. I think it's more reminiscent of a bigger point with how they've handled it. But yes,
he's looking at that today, arguably not even remembering saying that. I think I could sit here and confidently say that, seeing how drunk some of these players were.
Right.
And fair play to them. When you win a championship, you're allowed to do that.
Number 5.